Call me Jack. Jackass? Jack of all trades. Jackanapes. Jack Daniels. Jack off? All of those apply to me to some degree, but Jackal is the closest to how I see myself. I'm a grifter and a con artist. Mostly online scams, but I used to steal cars pretending to be a valet. Or get invited into McMansions in the guise of an internet provider. I've signed up plenty of wealthy older women to sponsor a child in need of books for school. I'm still in communication, actually, with a woman named Martha, who has spent years supporting little D. Sean and putting him through junior high and high school. D. Sean is starting college at Harvard in the fall, all thanks to her generous sponsorship. He sent her a very sweet letter with a picture from his high school graduation, culled from someone's Facebook page. Luckily, Martha is not wise in the ways of the internet. She loves that Deshaun cares enough to send handwritten letters. But hey, sadly, poor Martha might not be getting letters from Deshaun much longer because it looks like he's going to meet a terrible, tragic end. Said tragedy is the reason I'm writing this post. Truth doesn't come easy to me, but I'm bearing it all in the hopes that you'll see my sincerity and that this isn't some elaborate grift. What would I get out of it anyway? I don't need money. I've got money. Like the title says, I've got $1 million. Well, minus about 100,000 I've already burned. In my defense, hiring a private jet and all those train and plane tickets were spendy. Not to mention the assassins. Oh god. It does sound like I'm making this up. Okay, let me back up. Hi, I'm Jack, and I need your help. 3 days ago, a gorgeous lady contacted me online offering me $1 million for the chance to hunt me. Yes, you read that right. I assumed it was some sort of scam. Her profile picture looks a lot like my catfishing ones. All curves and windswept hair, and smooth buttery skin. And have I mentioned curves? Legs for miles. You get the idea. One thing leads to another, and soon I'm agreeing to meet her in a CVS parking lot. And before you say, Jack, seriously, she's a scammer, duh. But I mean, how else am I going to learn what this new scheme is if I don't play along? I've never heard of paying people to let you hunt them. And I mean, obviously, I'm going to take precautions and not give up anything. Got nothing to give anyways. I'm so poor my pockets have holes in their holes. But heck, if there's a new way to grift people, Jack here sure wants to know it. Anyways, the CVS has lots of foot traffic, so an in-person meeting is nothing to worry about, despite the high degree of weirdness. There is one thing that sets my jackal senses tingling though. It happens right at the end of our exchange. Coyote Wiley. KK, 10 a.m. CVS parking lot. Lady Blood 2023. See you soon, Jack. I never told her my name. Right. So, obviously, whoever's behind this Lady Blood persona is a better hacker than I am. Having somehow gotten my deets even though I keep all my accounts pretty anonymous. It's never a good idea to walk into a situation knowing less about your opponent than they know about you. Essentially, you're playing an open hand, which unless you're the dummy, is a terrible way to play. You're all but guaranteed a loss. But since I don't even know the game yet, I'm willing to suffer a loss in order to sniff out potential new opportunities. I make sure to get to the CVS plenty early and browse the shelves while keeping tabs on the parking lot. And then suddenly, she's there. She looks exactly like her photo. A slim, dark woman in a flowing red dress wavy hair, amber sunglasses. Like a walking Prada advertisement. My jaw drops to the floor. In her hand is a silver suitcase. I'll be damned, I mutter. Yes, damned indeed. An exclamation that, when I look back on it now, seems hysterically on point. Heavy emphasis on hysteria. Oh god, I'm so fucked. Sorry. Okay, back to the story. I head out to meet the mysterious lady in red, mostly thinking dumb thoughts about how I should have got a haircut because I look like a mess. Good thing I have a hat. Hats are sexy, right? Haven't shaved in days, and normally I like the scruffy rascal look, but she is so classy. I wish instead of bristles I had a proper goatee. I mean, been on T how many years, and the best look I got is unshaven coyote? And oh golly, she's turning this way. She flashes a brilliant white smile. Jack? Lady? And obviously she's a paid actor. Gotta be. Still, very effective. Even knowing she's here to make me believe in whatever scam this hunt is, I can still feel myself wanting to come to heel and wag my tail. She invites me into a nearby camper to look over the contract, and I hesitate for a fraction of a second, my jackal senses tingling. But curiosity gets the better of caution. The lady and I sit at the small table inside. The RV has the fresh new smell of a rented vehicle. No personal touches. It strikes me that it's been rented solely for the purpose of having a private space to meet with me. Very elaborate. Kind of a lot just for her to approach a small-timer like me. This should set off red flags, but I'm still too intrigued by the suitcase. And, let's be honest, those curves and the way she fills out that dress in all the right ways. She opens the suitcase so I can see the cash inside. It's the cash that catapults me from what feels like the real world into the surreal. It is actual cash. The smell of actual cash is pretty distinct. I feel higher than if I just inhaled coke. The bills are not counterfeit. I've dealt with counterfeit. My instincts are usually pretty good at telling me what I'm dealing with. Right now, those instincts are telling me that not only is that $1 million real, but that I should get the hell out of here. But oh, that's a lot of money, and I'm so curious. She passes over the contract. I skim it, look at her to see if she's kidding, and then read it again and again. By the third time, I have it memorized. It's exactly like she messaged me about. She pays me $1 million to hunt me. If she catches me, she will end my life. There's no small print around it or anything. It's right there. But if I can evade her for 2 weeks, I'm off scot-free and get to keep whatever's left of the $1 million that I haven't spent. What's more, there are heavy restrictions on how she must conduct the hunt. No drugging or poisoning me, no restraining me via ropes, handcuffs, locks, traps, etc. I must always be free to move unhindered. She may not kill me in my sleep or by stealth. Before any assaults, she must make sure I am aware of her approach. Only she may conduct the hunt, no surrogates or assistants of any kind. She may not use any weapons against me, only bare hands. It's a list so restrictive as to render me virtually unkillable. I almost laugh. What is this? She smiles. The rules of the game. I just look at her for a moment in disbelief, and then at the money. That cool $1 million. I whistle. Considering the money, and then her. I mean, even in the most dangerous game, the wackadoodle hunter uses a gun. She's tall, a bit taller than me actually, but slim. I assess her up and down and decide she can wrestle me anytime. I can probably take her if it comes to it. Actually might welcome the physical tussle. I decide her terms are fair. I mean, not really fair. Crazy. But come on, what's she gonna do? Scratch my eyes out? Well, her polished nails are pretty sharp. Eyeing them, I slightly reassess and decide I'll wear glasses and a thick jacket. But then, yeah, sure, I can take her. Bring it, lady. I've just signed the dotted line when she grips my wrist. Oh, hello. She smiles. I smile. Her thumb rubs the inside of my wrist and it's very nice. She licks her lips. Then her thumbnail lightly grazes my skin and then suddenly digs in. I yelp, trying to jerk back, but the lady is surprisingly strong. She holds my wrist and tells me to give her my other hand, which I do. What can I say? I'm a puppy dog when a lovely lady bosses me around. More, please. She presses my thumb into my bloody wrist and then my thumb to the paper right next to my signature. Okay. Weird. Kinky? Is it bad that I like it? Then she hands me the suitcase. I'll give you a 12-hour head start, Jack. Don't disappoint me. I just have to keep out of your reach for 2 weeks. That's it. She smiles. I'm a real good hunter, Jack. What if I want you to catch me? I say, flashing her a flirty smile. Her stare turns flinty, in an expression I can best call predatory. Well, let's just say none of the others liked it very much when I caught them. Others? I say. Ugh, so you played this game before. I'm not sure if I'm worried or disappointed. I was hoping I'd be your first. Oh. She laughs. You're far from my first, Jackie boy. Okay. She's definitely flirting now. How long did it take you to catch these previous contractees? She leans her chin on her hand, pouting. 12 hours. Huh. I smile. Well, I think I can do better than that. I sure hope so, Jackie boy. It's why I picked you. You're clever, rarely caught. And when you are, you just disappear and reinvent yourself somewhere else. It's worked so well for you until now, but Jack, I already know all there is to know about you. I did my research, so don't be lazy about it. Give me a challenge, please. Is it bad that in that moment I almost wanted to let her catch me, just to see what she was going to do to me? Oh, I regret it now. Lord help me, but how deeply I regret it now. Past me was such a total fucking idiot. Easy street. That's what past me thought. All I have to do is vanish for 14 days, right? Simple. I book a ticket to New Orleans, fly there in the first 12 hours, once there, buy a fancy new car. Then it's a question of where to go. A glimpse of a Where's Waldo book in a bookstore window gives me an idea. Where better to vanish than into a crowd? I purchase tickets to Disney World. Heck, all the worlds. Why not? I'm a millionaire. Under the name D. Sean, since it'll make a good letter to Martha later. Disney, Busch Gardens, Universal, the whole magical package. Deshawn is very, very excited. As for the lady, I'm not worried about her. Why should I be? How is she gonna find me? If she traces the plane ticket, plus the other breadcrumbs I seeded around New Orleans, she'll wind up at one of the several hotels with reservations under the name Jack. Hey, she said to make it a challenge. I'm only on burner phones, and sent my GPS and original phone off with a fake Jack I paid to check in at one of said hotels. I mean, I kinda doubt she's gonna go through with it, but if she does fulfill her wackadoodle bargain, she'll kill fake Jack. Sorry, buddy. And for a couple of days, Deshawn lives it up. First time experiencing a theme park, first time at a 5-star resort. First time feeling that Disney magic and whoa! Really hard not to steal stuff. But Deshawn has got Harvard to think about. Okay, he leaves a couple of stores with swag, plus a giant-sized Stitch stuffed toy. Can't help those sticky fingers. But he gives Stitch to a tiny toddler whose bright smile makes his day. And the roller coasters. Such stupendous roller coasters. As a roller coaster virgin, Deshawn absolutely hates them the first 6 times at Busch Gardens. But he's determined to satisfy his inner child, who never got to ride them, and by the 7th try, he finally loves them. He plays the bottle toss, a rigged game designed to rip off parkgoers. But because he has literally $1 million, he can buy so many buckets of rings that he forces a win through sheer statistics, and is awarded a giant stuffed tiger and doesn't even have to cheat. It is the best day of my Deshawn's life. Definitely gonna write Martha about this. After devouring an entire bucket of churros, I decide it's time to let Deshawn ride one more coaster. Despite the peril of being so full of sugar and soda. And climb into this giant monstrosity with an interlocking double loop. Everyone screams. The soda and the churros stay down. Barely. I'm on my way out when I see pictures up at the store of all the people screaming on the coaster. Automatic cameras snap these photos for each group. I scan them, looking for a face that might pass for Deshawn so I can send it to Martha. But then my eyes catch on a scruffy 20-something, his hands thrown up, wild hair needing a trim, dark brown eyes wide. His smile huge and exposing that one missing tooth I could never afford to replace. It's the reason I smile crooked. I almost don't recognize myself, I look so happy. But then, looking closer at the picture, I squint. And then I go inside and buy a copy. My heart rate has escalated just a little bit. I try to ignore the thumping as I walk right out of the park. I was originally planning to head to Universal, but instead I find myself meandering along the city walk. That touristy strip of restaurants and shops lining the water. Families with children wander past me, laughing, arguing, chatting. The Hard Rock Cafe is packed, countless voices mingling in a happy babble. I tune it all out, still looking at the picture. In the row immediately behind me on the coaster, in a red tank top and with her face serene, as unruffled as if she were sitting for tea and not on a coaster moving at 70 miles an hour, is the lady. It can only be her. She's looking right at the camera. Right? I realize. At me. As if she anticipated I'd buy this picture and wants me to see her watching. Jack. Ice trickles down my spine. My intestines wind into knots as I turn. She sits on a bench on the boardwalk, wearing the exact same red tank top as in the photo, and a red miniskirt. Her lips curve in a smile, but her eyes have no light in them. Whoa, lady! I feign the biggest smile. Fancy meeting you here? It's the first time I feel genuinely afraid of her.
You're not trying hard enough,
she says, pouting. Well, I did hire a fake double and leave a trail for you to follow in New Orleans. I pause. How did you find me?
You need to try harder,
she says, more seriously now. So, what happens next? I look around at the crowded city walk. What's she gonna do? Murder me in full view of all these bystanders? The entire horde of folks at Hard Rock? The kids throwing bread at the seagulls? I smile at her my most winsome, apologetic smile. I'm afraid I already blew the money. Disney's expensive. So were all those decoys I made for you. So I can't give it back, I'm afraid.
The money's yours.
She stands, hands held demurely in front of her, those long red nails clicking slightly as she pulls her fingers together.
Is this where you're making your last stand?
Last stand? I mean, you're not really going to make a scene in front of all these kids and families? She only smiles. It strikes me suddenly that her lipstick looks very much the color of blood. Okay, I say. How about I maybe hide better this time? You're right, I wasn't taking you seriously enough. This time, though, I'll use my very best tricks to make absolute sure you can't find me. How about it? I do want you to get your money's worth. She clicks her tongue.
Very well.
Great. Well, bye then.
But Jack...
I stop as I'm retreating from her.
Next time I catch you, I'm going to have to take something from you. You're not taking this seriously enough. You're a fox that thinks I'm just playing a little game, that we're friends and all this is just for fun. But for you, it's not. I'll have to show you my teeth.
She flashes a grin. I squint. Aren't you showing them now? She just laughs. I swear, her teeth look pointier. Disney World was, in retrospect, an easy guess. Give a guy $1 million and let him go anywhere in the world. Where else is he gonna try to get lost in a crowd while throwing money away? It was too obvious. So for my next disappearing act, I decided to swing to the opposite end of the spectrum and go completely off-grid. I drive around the coast until I find a guy with a houseboat. Boat's not even for rent. I flash some cash and rent it from him. Drive the thing along the coast and spend a couple of days living that boat life. See some dolphins, feed some seagulls. It's not bad, actually. Plus, there's no cameras. No traffic lights, or tolls, or witnesses, or much of anything. Heck, even an actual bloodhound couldn't find me, because I'm out on the waves. And after 2 days of quiet, I start to relax. I even go for a walk on the beach and look for shark's teeth. I've made sure to avoid all the touristy popular spots. I don't even think this beach has a name. Or if it does, I don't know it. And if I don't know where it is, how is she going to find it? I have a bottle in my hand and drink from it occasionally. The light buzz of my cheaply made, lukewarm pina colada, a poor man's version of the 5-star drink I'd be getting if I were still at the resort. But hey, I tell myself, the sea is the same sea and the waves are the same waves.
I agree.
What? She comes right out of the water! How she heard me muttering to myself under my breath when she was hiding under the waves, I have no idea. How long has she been lying in wait at the shoreline? Was she holding her breath? Did she have a snorkel? Fuck! How did she even find me here? At this beach? A mile or so up the shore. A mile or so away from the boat. Fuck. In my windbreaker, I'm carrying a gun. So easy to get in Florida. I bought this from a kid who, I swear, was like 13. I pull it out, intending only to threaten her away. But suddenly she's running at me and my brain goes into fight or flight and I fire. Why the hell do I fire? At an unarmed woman? The bullet doesn't even graze her. The shot goes wide. Then she disarmed me, and the cold barrel of a gun is at my temple. It's so fast, so ungodly fast. I wait for the blam. But no, she tosses the gun aside, smiling. And then she grips my arm. I shriek. Holy Jesus, her claws! They're tearing! Oh God, oh God, oh God! And then my arm is flopping limply because she's torn something. Jesus Christ, so much blood! Is it possible to die from pain? I'm gonna die from pain! Oh God, let me faint! And all the while, the small clever jackal part of my brain that is always figuring out the next move whispers, what can tear a human arm like that? Look at her shadow. And it's true. There's something wrong with her shadow. It doesn't match her movements. The claws are the shadows. And the absurd idea comes to my mind that she is somehow only a projection. Like a profile pic. And the shadow is the real hunter that has just torn open my arm and is hungry. And worse than hungry, bored.
You're not trying hard enough, Jack.
Fuck me. I gasp. And then I'm on my back. The gritty sand warm against my skin and the sky spinning above me.
Oh, the Florida clouds are so beautiful.
Stop. Jack, get it together. But my alcohol-addled brain is spinning the world like a top. I squirm, but she has me pinned, her hot breath on my neck. And as terrified as I am, the touch of her skin almost melting into mine is so very, very warm. And it's such a confusing cocktail of emotions for my inebriated brain. I really can't think. Her lips part. She leans down as if she's going to kiss me. I feel the prickle of her shadow claws on my bare skin. On my chest. And her soft lips press to the skin of my neck and oh no, it's not a kiss. She's about to rip my throat out. Hey, what's going on down there? In a flash, she's gone. There's a splash. A scolding old man runs breathlessly across the sand, his lobster-red sunburned skin wrinkled and scaly. Not my favorite beach buddy, but in that moment I could have kissed him, tongue and all. Hell, come here, buddy. What the fuck are you doing? He steps back when I try to lean up to him. I'm not sober, okay? This is a public beach, you know. You can't go around doing indecent stuff. He grumps. I completely agree. Thank you so much for pointing that out to me. I gasp. Seriously, thank you. Where'd she go? He looks around, perplexed. Hell, I hope she stays there. I fall back into the sand. What happened to your arm? Gasps the old man. Shark attack. I manage. Need a better plan. A much better plan. Gotta run. Harder, better, faster, stronger. The old dude helps me to my feet. I stagger with him up the sand, glancing over my shoulder to look back once at the shore. She stands in the water and raises an arm and waves. I try to give her the finger, but it's weak. I know it's weak. I'm weak. I wasn't ready for this. And yeah, it's clear to me now that I fell for the oldest trick in the proverbial book. That I fell hook, line, and sinker for the pretty face and the red dress, that's all just that shadow thing's version of a catfishing profile pic. And I'm a fucking idiot who, frankly, has pulled the same trick enough times I should have seen it coming. And now, I've got Lady Blood, Hound, from hell on my heels. But this jackal's got teeth too. So, yeah. Those assassins I mentioned. Well, what else do you think I'm gonna do with $1,000,000? But it's not gonna be enough. I already know it's not enough. And that's why I'm posting here. I've got a pretty unusual problem. Gonna need a pretty unusual solution. So, how do I escape? How do I make it out alive for 7 more days? There are no bad ideas here, folks. And I'll pay back anyone whose plan keeps me alive, with whatever money I have left. So, please, 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 for God's sakes, help me. While I was getting my arm stitched up, I had a dream about the lady in red. We were on the beach again. She kissed me all up and down my body, her hot breath on my skin. I ran my hands along the swell of her hips, pulling her tight to me. And we groped and caressed, and it was hot. So hot. And just as we were in the throes of passion, and she's running her hands down my washboard abs. Yeah, in my dream, I have those. Suddenly her teeth clamp down on my throat, but she doesn't bite. Not yet. Because she's enjoying feeling my vocal cords vibrate as she rips open my belly and pulls rope after rope of my intestines out, twining them round her fingers while I scream and scream and scream, and I know this is the part she likes. Yeah. Puts a different spin on all those paranormal romances that people like to read, doesn't it? My advice to you, if you've ever been inclined to get intimate with a non-human entity, especially one that normally munches on humans, don't. Not that she's actually revealed how she plans to kill me. The dreams are just my monkey-brained remix of my own dumb words. But if I want you to catch me, and her bone-chilling response, well, let's just say none of the others liked it very much when I caught them. Yeah, I'll bet. After my release from the hospital, I trade out my little houseboat for a big fancy yacht because, I figure, last time she only caught me when I got careless enough to go strolling on the beach. How is she gonna find me if I stay out on the open ocean? What's she gonna do? Rise up out of the deep like the Little Mermaid from hell and crawl up onto my yacht? Shouldn't have jinxed it. I'm basking in the sun, sipping a pina colada. Is it a pina colada or pina colada? Regardless, a fancy one with a slice of pineapple and a little umbrella placed in it by a boy whose sole job is to pop those suckers open and gussy up my drinks. Why not? I got $1,000,000. When Umbrella Boy's eyes go wide, I turn my head and there, in a vibrant scarlet bikini that leaves very little to the imagination, she flashes a quick wink, tossing her damp hair over one burnished shoulder as she swings long, dripping wet legs over the railing. Umbrella Boy's jaw hits the deck, and he's popped more than the umbrella he's holding. I spit my drink out and fling the glass. Good thing my big boat has a little getaway boat attached for just such a scenario. Ciao, Bella. We have got to stop meeting like this. But also, what the hell? How? Anyway, moral of the story is, fuck boats. Next, I take to the skies. Hiring that private jet I mentioned cost a huge chunk of change. It's such a bite out of my million, I almost can't do it. But once we're at cruising altitude, I know it'll be worth every cent. There will be 1,000 pounds of pressure on every square foot of that cabin door, making it physically impossible to open, encasing me in a steel box thousands of feet in the air. Just me, the private chef I hired to serve a 5-course meal, the wines the chef picked out to pair with each course, and that $2,500 premium aged bourbon I splurged on because I've always wondered what real luxury tastes like. And if you're wondering, gee, Jack, didn't she already warn you about taking things more seriously, and shouldn't you maybe set your priorities better? Well, you haven't tried that bourbon yet. Sadly, neither have I. We've barely taken off the ground, and I'm just settling into my chair about to open that bottle when all the hairs on my neck suddenly stand up on end like sentries. Shit. I whisper, disbelieving because I checked, double-checked, triple-checked. I scoured every inch of the plane, and I swear there was not so much as even a speck of red. Not even a red napkin. Not even red wine. Not one single red drop. But as I unbuckle and turn around, Jesus fucking Christ! Red. Stepping out from the back of the plane like she's been there all along in a flowing evening gown, the lady purrs,
Hey, Jack.
and that's the story of how I fling myself out of a plane in a parachute without ever tasting a drop of bourbon. But hey, I think it's time for a confession. If you haven't figured it out by now, humor is my coping mechanism. Ever want to know who the saddest person in the room is? Look for the comedian. But the truth is, the reason that Jack in the story is so YOLO is because he's pretty well doomed to die in just a few days, and knows it. All the lady's seemingly impossible feats, they're not just my imagination. No. I felt those shadow claws when they were cutting through my arm like hot butter. In fact, I didn't mention it earlier because it's not a funny detail. But while I was sipping pina coladas and buying that $2,500 bourbon, I was also doped up on pain meds. Because she fucked up my arm real bad. The truth is, I wasn't actually thinking of the bourbon when I jumped out of the plane. No. What I was actually thinking about is how completely, truly, royally, and utterly fucked I am. I probably don't deserve sympathy, but I figured I'd drop the facade for a second because this post is about to get real dark. See, I'm about to make a mistake. So you know how sometimes when you're extremely sleep-deprived, strung out on adrenaline, and high as a kite on maybe more than just pain meds? Hey, I had $1 million. You come up with ideas that, in the moment, seem like a stroke of genius, and in retrospect, might not be, the best. I'm just trying to set expectations here. Right, that was enough of a disclaimer. Skydiving. That's where we left off. Me taking a plunge from my private jet, leaving behind my Michelin star chef. He's not, but cost enough that he should be. And $2,500 bourbon. Fun fact, I'm actually scared of heights, which is why skydiving isn't even on my bucket list. But hey, sure, why not? Let's add it now and check it off. Jack's bucket list. Disney World? Check. Yacht and pina coladas. Must have toothpick umbrellas. Check. $2,500 bourbon. Skydiving. Check. Boom. Done. But now that I'm in freefall, literally and figuratively, pull the cord, Jack. It occurs to me to wonder just how exactly the lady keeps popping up like some sort of reverse Carmen Sandiego where the hottie in red chases me. As my chute opens and my descent slows, I'm drifting down towards a patch of green when my eyes bulge out of my head at a flash of red far below. It's the lady, striding through the grassy field. No, you were just on the plane. I've lost it, kicking and screaming like a toddler as I gently drift towards the red. No, it's physically impossible. Don't you dare kill me. Don't you fucking dare. No. And then the grass comes rushing up, and thank God I used to do a little bit of parkour because I need these legs. Need them in order to run. Which I do after I land and untangle myself and bolt screaming. The screaming is undignified but entirely warranted, because this is the moment I realize that the laws of physics do not apply. That I've tried planes, trains, scratch that, boats, and automobiles. That I could shoot myself to space in a rocket ship right to the stars, and she'd still find me and tie my guts into a bow. Anyways, maybe all my shrieks about her cheating make her feel bad because she doesn't catch me. Yet? And now, we've finally gotten to those assassins I mentioned. Well, assassins is a bit of a misnomer. Really, they're a biker gang I met at a rest stop while I was careening across Alabama. Kentucky? Wyoming? Geography's not my strong suit. Under normal circumstances, I would avoid these so-called motorcycle clubs because I've run afoul of their sort before. There's a reason I won't visit the entire state of Texas. Let me tell you, these guys never forget if you wrong them. But hey, since this jackal is being pursued by a magical murderous bear, suddenly a pack of deadly wolves smells like an opportunity. Their protection doesn't come cheap, but I'm willing to pay whatever it takes. And just like that, I gain a leather-clad Hell's Angels-style posse. Hell yeah! So, pretty lady, question for you. I know how hungry you are, but are you ready to eat bullets? I tell him to shoot her on sight. And then, while one of the gang drives the RV I rented, I finally have an opportunity to crash in the back. The moment my head hits the pillow, I'm out. I dream of the lady, of course. The whisper of her laughter sends my heart into spasms. I try to sit up, but she shoves me down and straddles me. Her hands roving across my chest and shoulders. Those manicured nails digging in through my shirt as she says breathily,
Jack, think you're so clever, but you came for that million like a mouse sniffing around a bit of cheese.
She ruffles a wad of cash under my nose so I can smell that crisp green. And then, flashing a wicked smile, she flicks a lighter flame to the bottom of the cash. Hey! I lunge for it. She laughs, shoving me back.
So predictable. You're no better than your marks. But now, it's your turn. Jack, it's your turn.
And as the money burns, her smile stretches across razor teeth. I gasp awake. The rumble of the RV's motor slowly grounds me, And my heart slides back into a steady rhythm as I take out my phone and check the time. 12 hours have passed. I look around, but there's no sign of Red, and no tingling at the base of my skull. Finally, I relax a little. Open a bag of chips and a beer. Not very sustaining, but I'm too famished to be fussy. I type up my first entry and post it. Afterward, I flick through my phone and, for the first time in days, check up on business. He's this old gay guy I've been stringing along for a while. I call him Jerbear. Jerbear thinks I'll meet him, if only he sends enough money to help me escape my war-torn country and navigate the complex and expensive immigration process. I'm crafting a message thanking him for the money, but telling him how I can't leave my sick little sister behind. I don't know why I do this. I don't need his money. When my phone pings. It is the lady. Lady Blood 2023.
Really, Jack? Bikers?
Coyote Wiley. Hey, lady. Lady Blood 2023.
I swear, chasing you is like chasing a cartoon character.
Coyote Wiley. Have you checked my username? Lady Blood 2023.
You named yourself for a cartoon character who always fails. Cute. Very you.
Coyote Wiley. Bite me. Lady Blood 2023.
Soon.
Damn it, I set that up and walked right into it. Time to pivot. Coyote Wiley. What you wearing right now? Lady Blood 2023.
Nothing. That's a cute leather jacket, by the way. Did you borrow it from your new pals?
My monkey brain is wholly distracted by picturing her in nothing, so that I almost miss the whisper from my inner jackal. Psst, don't fall for her distractions. What does she really mean? And for once, it's the clever part of my brain I pay attention to as I frown and type back. Coyote Wiley. Wait, is that why I can't see you? You're not wearing the lady. Not wearing the human shape? No response. I'm just a teensy bit closer to understanding the nature of whatever's chasing me. She's not the lady, but the entity that wears the lady. Like how I wear a profile pic to sucker in sweet saps like Jerbear. But she mentioned my jacket. If she can see me, can I see her? See what she really is? I swivel my head to peer into all the shadows and out all the windows, but the landscape appears empty. And then my phone pings again. Lady Blood 2023.
Rear view.
I lower the window and stick my head out into the roaring wind to look back to the rear of the motorcycle pack. She is clinging to the waist of a large man with a red beard, her dress rippling around her like fire. The biker does not seem to be aware of her at all. She raises a hand and waves. But if it's this easy for her to catch up, why am I still alive? Duh. Whispers the jackal voice. It's the same reason I keep playing games with Jerbear, even though I've got that million. The same reason I keep composing letters from Deshawn to Martha. I'll probably keep doing it even after all this. It's because I can't quit the game, and neither can the lady. Lady Blood 2023.
Jack, Are you sure you want to involve innocents?
Innocent? Ha! If these guys are innocent, then Jack here is an honest man. I don't respond to her provocations. It's clear she doesn't like spectators, so she's trying to bluff me out of my escort by playing on my conscience. As if I have such a thing. I've got no concern for anybody but Jack. But then, she says something that chills me. Lady Blood 2023.
So, tell me, which one is your favorite?
I sit there for a moment, staring at my phone. Lady Blood 2023.
I'll give you 2 hours to ditch the escort, and then, whatever happens, is on you.
It is a very long 2 hours. Mainly because my driver won't stop talking. Movies, music, Marxism. He has opinions on Putin and GMOs and nuclear power. His jacket lacks the patch that many of the others have. He explains that this is related to the group's hierarchy. That you have to be a member of a certain standing in order to get the patch. He wants the patch so bad. Aw, cute. He eventually asks me to explain TikTok. Apparently, his nephew is on TikTok, and the driver, who goes by the handle Rooster, doesn't know how to watch his videos. By helping him sign in, I memorize his username and password and learn his real name is Robbie. And by also helping him sign into an email he's locked out of, I learn he repeats passwords. I engage him in conversation about family, pets, hobbies, filing away anything that might be useful. I don't plan to use this information, just storing it away for a rainy day. When he asks me about my family, I tell him I was raised by my grandma, Martha. So much easier to spin lies than talk about my real family. Dead to me. Or rather, I'm dead to them. And may it stay that way. What was your grandma's best recipe when you were growing up? Rooster asks. I purse my lips, ruffling through the memories of Martha's letters. Apple Brown Betty. She wrote about how someday Deshawn should visit and she'd make him her famous Apple Brown Betty. Weird name for a dessert, but I wouldn't turn my nose up. Rooster is already spinning off on another tangent. Conspiracy theories and UAPs. I have to admit, despite my intention not to consider him my favorite, I'm kinda warming up to the guy. And then he kinda socks me in the gut when he mentions his nephew recently decided to change his name from Kyle to Kylie. Rooster doesn't get it, but is trying his best, even though he messes up. It's just hard for me to change, 'cause, I've always known him as Kyle. He says. And I raise my eyebrows, because of all the comments from this old boomer, I did not expect to hear him opening up to me about his uncertainties with how to support his transgender niece. Well, if Kylie can see you're trying, that's the important thing. Yeah, but it sucks, 'cause I see that it's so hard for the kid. You know? Uh-huh. I say. And for a moment, I'm profoundly struck by how unpredictable human beings can be. Then he starts talking about vaccines and chips they put in your body. And, my dude, I cannot even. Just pick a lane. This is too much political whiplash for me. But hey, maybe there's some method to his madness, because by the time those 2 hours are up, he's told me so much I can't remember any of those passwords or possible answers to security questions. So good for you, Rooster. And hey, you're a cool uncle. I hold Rooster's head in my lap, the blood dripping out all over my jeans and onto the asphalt. The rest of his body lies nearby, gaping red, splitting open his torso. I sigh and look up at the sky. Try not to feel guilty. Try not to. Really, really try. Tell myself all the lies I need to in order to make the guilt go away. I do not want to write this part, but I have to, so maybe you can help me. See, this is the part where I got a glimpse of her, the lady, of what she really is. So, end of the 2 hours. My heart is beating fast. So fast. I don't even hear roosters babbling anymore, because for the past few minutes, the only sound in my ears has been my blood pumping. We're in the middle of a long stretch of highway, everything fading to purple except for a vivid line of red on the horizon. And suddenly, there's a figure in the road. She just steps out of the shadows and stands there, backlit by the fading day, in a vermilion dress that flickers like flame. My hackles raise. Every fiber of every muscle taut as a bow. Everything feels as if it's in slow motion as Rooster squints and mutters, "What the hell?" Wham! The door flies off. It's just gone. The entire driver's side door. I didn't even see the lady move. And Rooster and I both scream as suddenly, he too goes flying out. The RV keeps barreling forward and I lunge and grab the wheel and slam the brakes. From outside comes screams, gunshots, the roar of engines and squeal of tires. Everything has gotten very dark, almost black. As if an extra veil of shadow has descended along just this stretch. And in the center of that darkness is a woman. It's hard to tell because her shape is shrouded in this rolling liquid smoke, a fluid shadow. As bullets fly, the woman jerks to one side, almost like a puppet. She drops flat to the ground, then leaps, and I hear claws rake across metal and a bike goes screeching, its rider thrown. More screams, bikes tossed like toys, and then they're running. Retreating, rubber burning on the road, leaving a scattering of shredded metal. The shape of the woman turns my way, and behind her, two patches of the most impossibly blackest void like the sky with no stars. Black eyes that wink out. The shadow on the highway lifts, and it's an ordinary twilight again. Dread curdles in my gut. There is something left in the road. No. I think. No. He wasn't my favorite. I did not pick a favorite. I dash forward across the asphalt, and then I'm close enough to make out the leather jacket. The gashes in it so deep they've split open his rib cage and taken his head clean off. I see it neatly severed a few feet away. I pick it up and set it down right next to him on the road. I see his phone nearby, and suddenly it makes me think of TikTok and his niece. Should I inform his family? And say what exactly, Jack? I don't know. So instead, I just sit there telling him over and over and over again that I'm sorry. I've gone numb, drained of all instinct, so numb that I forgot to run. Until I feel the pinprick of fingernails in my shoulder. Chills run through my entire being, turning me to ice despite the heat of those fingers. The grip of those claws reminding me of the penalty for not running.
I warned you, Jack. You should have listened.
She kneels next to me, flowing red dress, hair cascading around her face, Lipstick perfect and skin glowing like she's posing for the cover of a magazine. Her hand cups my cheek and forces my chin up. Despite the numbness, my whole body trembles. Hot. Cold. She smiles. Such a pretty smile. Almost passing for a human. But those eyes. Like a doll's eyes. No life in them. And never was.
Let's not involve innocence anymore, Robbie here had a family, and I prefer no strings attached. It's why I picked you. Who's going to notice when you're gone?
Her words cut deep, and I shiver. Who'll notice? Martha? When she doesn't get any more letters from the guy who's been grifting her? The family that I cut ties with and would rather see me dead? I guess, as prey goes, by her standards, I make sense. I'm the perfect cut of meat. No strings. I'll leave nothing behind but a few unfinished schemes and whatever bones she doesn't swallow. What are you? I manage. Because if I have a name for what she is, maybe I can figure out a way to beat her. But she smiles. She knows, as well as I do, that the more you know about your opponent, and the less he knows about you, the better. And whatever kind of monster she is, whatever strengths or weaknesses she has, she's not about to give me any hint. She knows that she's only taking out the trash. Just a small-time barnacle preying on the innocent. But she doesn't kill me. Not yet. She retreats along the highway, and as I watch that red dress flickering in the wind, there's a point where, somewhere in the distance, like a candle, it simply flickers out. I swallow hard, close my eyes. From now on, I stop hiring anybody. No more protection, no more assassins or gangs or hired anyone. I don't want people dying for me. So have it your way, lady. We'll play your game your way. Just you and me. No one else. House rules. But of course, I know better than anybody. The house always wins. Right. So, I am definitely not going to make it out of this alive. Gotta make the best of it. So, I'm here on the patio of a swanky resort. In the company of the sea and the stars and the breeze and my upcoming doom. And it's nice. Gotta appreciate the little things while they last. I probably have just enough time to type up this account. So, I've got a drink and my tablet, and it's you and me, folks. You and me, and the end. Here we go. This is the hardest thing I'll ever write. I'm a liar to my very core, and the thing that I lie most about is myself. Sure, I give little truths here and there. Heck, Martha could probably cobble together a pretty good portrait from all the snippets Deshawn has sent her over the years. But I never share the whole of myself. And now, I'm gonna crack that sucker wide open. Not that anything I'm going to say is secret. I just don't usually talk about how I feel about this stuff. So, if you've read the previous entries, you know I've run out of ideas for how to escape the lady. In fact, I'm pretty certain that none of my running ever actually mattered. At least, not in the way I initially thought. All this chasing is really just a bit of foreplay. With the climax being where she kills me horribly and very, very, very slowly. Up till now, I've dressed up her game with jokes, but... shit, I'm no good at confessional mode. Let's try it this way. I, Jack the Observer, will now talk about Jack the Hunted. A normally crafty individual, much like the jackal that he relates to, but every track he's laid and every scheme he's schemed has failed. And he's down to his very last trick. Which is to die! She can't hunt him if he's already dead! But the way he decides to go about it is perhaps not the way you'd expect. Sure, he's got cyanide pills and he's keeping them on his person in case he needs to check out real fast. But that's just the backup. See, his actual plan isn't to kill Jack, but the spirit of Jack. He's got this theory. Call it a hunch. Hard to explain. But his hackles raise whenever she's near, long before he catches sight of her. Like there's some kind of spiritual connection that ignites when she's close. Like they're bound through his... emotions? No, not quite. Through his... essence? The essence of Jack. His spirit, if you will. So if he can completely destroy that essence, as if this man, Jack, never existed, she might lose the scent. He hates it, but there is no other way. He can do it, though. Because before he was Jack, there was a time he was living under the birth name Jacqueline Kailani Tan. So it's a pretty simple plan. Eliminate Jack, the idiot who made the pact with the lady, and resurrect Jacqueline. Hope the difference is profound enough to throw off the scent, and after 1 week as Jacqueline, it should all be over. So, this will sound like an exaggeration to anyone who has never transitioned, but it really does feel like killing myself. It's hard getting back to Jacqueline. I mean physically hard. Like a butterfly tearing off its wings and climbing into its old cocoon and trying to dissolve back into goo. My physique is now very different from before, and so I have to go through quite a process. I strip off all my clothes. Shave everything. Stuff a bra since I haven't got boobs anymore. Shit, I forgot how fucking uncomfortable these things were. Slip into those tight girl jeans that hug my hips and have teensy useless pockets. Why do they make girls' clothes like this? And a tank top and hoodie and throw on some bracelets, earrings. My hair's gotten long and unkempt, but it isn't quite long enough for Jacqueline. But I style it, and that works. Finally, add some makeup. I've just done the eyeliner, and I'm in the middle of putting on mascara when I freeze. Gaze on the mirror, because looking out at me is a girl. A girl! There's Jacqueline. Miserable, uncomfortable, wants to pitch herself onto the subway tracks, Jacqueline. And the sight of her there with my eyes and features... oh, God. It's going to be hard for you to understand this if you've never felt the ungodly discomfort they call dysphoria. It cracks my soul open like an egg and pours all the insides out of me. Jack wants to punch the mirror and scream. Jacqueline wants to cry. But hey, Since I'm committing to this thing now, gotta be Jacqueline. I cry. Which ruins my mascara, so I have to do it all over again. Which means more seeing myself in the mirror. Isn't this fun, Jacqueline? Isn't it great to go through all the stuff you've been through already as an angsty teenager? Oh, the teenage years. Fun times, eh? Anyway, after Jacqueline gets her shit together, she starts up her new iPad and makes some new accounts for herself in her girl identity. Non-grifting accounts. Jacqueline is looking for work as a bartender. Nope, will be too tempted to drink. Barista. She immerses herself in girly things. Goes to the library and asks about book clubs, cats, yoga. Goes to the gym to try out some Pilates. No one but us girls. She knows she is truly a girl when a customer is struggling to figure out where the button is to buzz into the bathrooms. It's admittedly a confusing layout. And she tells him where and he ignores her. Because, oh, that's right. People don't listen to girls. Maybe this genius will someday finally find the button and explain later to her where he found it. She's smirking, but stops when he looks at her funny and she tries to show him the button and he's like, "Found it." Welcome back to girl life, Jacqueline. Back at her Airbnb, she types up the previous post, carefully, in bits and pieces, because she doesn't want to immerse herself too much in remembering Jack. Even though writing is pretty much the only time she doesn't dream of throwing herself off a building. But hey, on the plus side, not so much as a tingle in her spine, not a flutter of red, no sign of the lady. A new day dawns, and Jacqueline does some shopping, and has yogurt and salad for lunch, and heads to the salon. In the afternoon, she takes her newly acquired yoga mat in her newly acquired yoga pants and sweatshirt and goes to the yoga studio. There are only girls there. She goes to the small restroom/changing area, almost balks when she sees the door marked "Woman" with the universal symbol of the woman in a dress, a door she hasn't entered in years. And it's like the final mark of total transformation. Back into the cocoon. Then I've pushed the door open and entered, and Jack is gone. There's only Jacqueline. There is no one in here but me. I use the facilities, come out and wash my hands, grab my things from the small bench, and am about to leave when the door opens and another girl walks in. Dressed all in red. Red yoga pants, red crop top. Way hotter and way curvier, and with legs that put me to shame. This incredibly hot, vibrant, gorgeous woman. And my heart rate spikes, but I'm Jacqueline now. A girl on her way to yoga class. Jacqueline says, "Excuse me," and walks by. Fingers clamp on my wrist. And then I'm gasping as the lady pushes me against the wall like some sort of schoolyard bully intimidating a smaller and younger girl. Her red lips curve in a smile. "Oh ho ho ho, Jack. Did you really think I wouldn't find you?" Yes, because I'm not me. Because who you want is Jack, the scammer, the cocky grifter who signed your contract. Not some scared girl who hasn't found herself yet. I stammer. Don't... You really thought just changing what you look like would be enough? She chuckles, tracing her finger along my chin. I am frozen. Stiff as a hair caught in the eyes of a predator. Unable to move. Unable to so much as whimper as she leans in closer to whisper into my ear, her warm breath tickling my skin. Hot. And chilling my bones cold.
You're still you in there, Jackie boy. No amount of makeup or dress-up will change that. And I'm still me. And I've caught you.
I slump. Because she's right. At least about the killing me part. And there's nothing I can do. I thought I have this sense. Call it instinct. That what she's really hungry for isn't flesh and blood, but something else. Something deeper. And she only gets that from her prey another way. Fear, anguish, pain. I think the fear is what she feeds on. And if I wasn't feeding her, if I could change so she lost the taste of me. But I've failed. And as I sink down almost in a faint, and she gives a laugh that's almost a purr, I think, yeah, fuck. She's tasting all that terror, and this part is just the snack. The agony. When she ties my intestines in a bow is the main course. I close my eyes. She leans down toward my throat, and shadows coalesce around me. But I'm not ready. Not ready to die just yet. And in a surge of panic, I lash out, flinging the yoga mat. She knocks it aside, snarling, and I feel the fabric of my hoodie ripped by her claws as I leap over the bench, swinging the stall door so it smacks her in the face when she lunges. I dash into the hall, feet pounding across the floor, but as the hairs on my neck prickle, I catch a subtle swirling of darkness in the stairwell ahead. So I pivot, hard, and hurl myself through a window. Glass shatters and tinkles around me like rain. I am 2 stories up, the alley outside rising up to meet me. And thank God again for that parkour training. Because there's a truck below, and I miraculously don't break my face or legs when I hit it, rolling off it to the pavement and hitting the ground at a run. A car almost flattens me at the intersection, and the tires squeal as it brakes. A young man steps out and shouts,
Hey, are you okay?
No, there's someone chasing me, help! I cry in my girliest voice and run to him.
I point back to the direction I came from, and he squares his shoulders to go and face whoever is after me. I hop into the driver's seat, shut the door, and peel away.
Hey!
He shouts.
Thanks, bro.
I call out to him in a deeper voice and laugh. First things first. I get back into my own jeans and button-down and jacket and scrub away every trace of makeup or product. Can't do anything about my smooth face, but I get a proper haircut, so I guess now I'm Clean Cut Jack instead of Scruffy Jack. But at least, I'm back, baby! Finally! And it feels so good to be me. Now, let's all agree to bury Jacqueline and pretend that last part never happened. Also, give me a sec while I go do some push-ups, grab a beer, punch some stuff, or whatever stupid shit I need to do until I stop feeling like, why the fuck does my hair smell like lavender? Fuck's sake. But Jack, you ask, if you've only got a short time to live and everything about this last section sucks so much, why are you wasting your few precious hours telling it? I'm so glad you asked. Basically, I am trying to not come clean exactly, and not clean up my act either. 'Cause, look, obviously it's not like I can undo all the grifts I've pulled, but there's some part of me that feels, if I'm going to die, I should be honest at least once. Completely, totally, bear it all, even the ugliest bits honest.
Even if it strips me down past flesh and bone to the deepest and most terrified and messiest and human parts of my soul. I just have to, one time, tell the truth. Not because it will save my life. It's way too late for that. I just don't want to... Shit. I hope you appreciate how hard the truth is for me. Lies are so much more comforting and comfortable. I am full of pleasant lies. But the truth... What the lady said the other day really got to me. About picking me because I've got no strings attached. Who'll miss you, Jack? I don't know. My terrible ex? The family I don't want to talk to. The first person who will probably notice I'm gone is, honestly, my dealer. This didn't bother me a whole lot when I had the rest of my life to figure stuff out. But now I'm down to a couple hours. I wonder, should I tell Martha the truth? Beg her forgiveness. I've been fantasizing these past few days about coming clean to her and us becoming friends. Isn't that pathetic? But I just want even one person to care that I'm gone. There's not even one. Yeah, when it comes down to it, that's how much Jackie Boy is worth. Truth really sucks. I don't know why I'm sharing this. I guess, at this point, it doesn't matter. Nothing matters. But hey, maybe learn from my mistakes. Don't be like Jack. Avoid signing sketchy contracts with gorgeous strangers. Be a good person. Develop some fucking strings. You probably already have those. Lucky you. I mean that. Lucky you. Cherish them. Wish I had your luck. The lady is here. Honestly, I don't think she's ever been far. Ever since the beginning. I've gotten a feel for her. The prickling of the hairs on my skin, that's just when she slips on the human disguise. But the rest of the time, I still sense her near, like a breath on the back of my neck. She is with me all the time. Whether I'm asleep or awake or conscious of her or not. There never was any escape. Never has been. It has always been a rigged game. So the plan? In my mouth is a cyanide pill. Bite down, and I'll lose conscious in seconds and die in minutes. The pill is for my last desperate gamble. I haven't decided whether to take it or not. Over the past few days, I've been reviewing all I know about the lady. That she likes contracts. That she does not lie, but doesn't tell everything. That the color red is a distraction, like a matador's cape. When behind the cape is a sword. Don't look at the red. Look at the shadow. I've learned some things about her, but not enough. Not yet. And even if I did learn enough to formulate some kind of plan, I couldn't tell you. She definitely reads my posts. Oh, here come the tingles. So, I am writing the rest of this with the lady here at the table. Say hi, lady. She's been gracious enough to allow me to finish this for all of you. So, cheers to that. If you're able, have a drink for me. Continuing where I left off. All of the hairs on my neck raise, and there's a clack of high heels
and she pulls out a chair and sits down across from me. Stunning, as always, her lips curved in a seductive smile. Though her eyes, I always notice now, are forever flat as a doll's. If only past me had seen this. Gee, why didn't past you see it sooner, Jack? Well, it's because I, wasn't looking at her eyes. I offer to pour her a glass. A drink, lady?
No thanks.
She smiles.
I'm planning on dining later on.
I shrug and pour one for myself. Take a swallow for courage. You really get off on scaring people, huh?
I like fear, yes, and the chase. But the best part is always the climax.
She reaches out to trace a delicate finger along my cheek. I swallow hard, perspiration beading on my skin. Take another swallow and tap my fingers anxiously on the rim of my glass. Will it hurt? She smiles. Okay then. Will it be long?
I do hope so.
Fuck. It is somehow much more terrifying to hear her say it aloud. And because there's nothing I can do anymore, nowhere to go, the jig is up. No actual plan or any final ace up my sleeve. I wipe the tears from my eyes, and then I wipe more. I keep wiping at them, trying not to let them fall, wishing I'd never grifted Martha or Jeremy or anyone, because maybe if I'd lived a better life, maybe I wouldn't be here.
Now, Jack, you know, sorrow's not much fun.
She frowns.
Makes the flavor bitter. Fear. That's the best seasoning. But if you're just going to melt into a puddle, I'll have to add more pain to offset all that bitterness.
Yeah, well, you know, lady, I have a feeling pain is not going to be a problem for you soon. In fact, I have a hunch you're going to season with it quite liberally. I mean, why can't you season it with, I don't know, one more chance? Maybe with one more chance. A final bit of zest. She smiles and shakes her head.
Sorry, Jack. I'll let you finish your post, but then...
She sighs almost mournfully, leans her chin on her hand.
Well, it's all a bit sad at the end. Your fear's gone stale, and you've given up, and your heart's not in it. And it's clear you're an animal on his last legs. At that point, when the prey is just limping along, wanting it to be over, well, it's time to end it, isn't it?
My heart sinks, but she's right. I don't have any spirit left, any real will to fight. And I do want to get it over with. The thought of all that pain, though, is a real motivator. I mutter, shifting the cyanide pill around in my mouth. And somewhere deep inside me, the jackal wheels are turning. Still thinking, desperately seeking a way out. And he thinks he's found a way. But it's risky. Risky as in, I don't think I'll be able to post again. Chances of me coming back are basically none. But at this point, 1,000,000 to 1 is better odds than just sitting, waiting, dying. I'm still slowly turning the pill under my tongue, and she asks,
What are you going to do with cyanide, Jack?
"Bite it. Dead in 3 or 4 minutes."
So, why haven't you?
"Gonna offer you a deal." She leans in, listening. The shadows around me grow closer. "Watch the shadows, not the lady." I lean in also, and raise my eyebrows. "I'll spit out this pill for one more chance. A final throw of the dice. Give me an hour's head start. And if my gamble fails, you get your meal. No cyanide." She frowns, looking me up and down. "Watch the shadows." I watch them, study them. The likelihood of success is... This doesn't translate well across my keyboard. But if you could see me sitting here typing, I am holding my thumb and forefinger pinched together to represent the infinitesimally small chance of success. I am 99.9999999% sure to die horribly. But if I succeed, I might stop the lady from ever hurting anyone again. Might do one good deed in my life, even if I have to give up my own to do it.
15 minutes.
I sweat. That's not enough time. I drum my fingers on the table, but I won't get a better offer. Do I bite and die quick? Never make it to 30?
God, I'd love to hit 30.
Or do I take the biggest gamble of my life? Go all in, even with the odds 1,000,000 to 1 against me. Will it be long?
I do hope so.
Fuck. I close my eyes, inhale, exhale. Okay. Deal. I say, and it feels like there's no air anywhere in the atmosphere. I cannot even breathe. I hold out my hand, and the lady takes it.
Your 15 minutes begin the moment you hit post.
She says, indicating my screen. Then, she settles back, smiling. She's in no rush now. After all, the night is long, and you like night, don't you, lady? You like darkness. Watch the shadows. I spit out the pill. If you're reading this now, I've already posted, and the 15 minutes is likely up. And whatever has happened, has happened. I can't update, not unless I got very, very lucky. And even then, probably not gonna see 30. My last act, beside posting, was to write a letter to Martha. If my life were a Hallmark movie, I'd write to tell her the truth. Confess I was Deshaun all along and that my real name is Jack, and include a photo of what I actually look like. And beg for her forgiveness, and she'd be angry, but then we'd become friends. And I'd maybe go have Thanksgiving at that nice big house of hers and try her famous apple brown Betty. But this isn't a Hallmark movie. What would actually happen if I told her the truth is that I would shatter her trust in a world far too short on trusting people. So I don't. But I do send money back to Martha with a letter from Deshaun thanking her for making a difference in his life. Telling her he can now pay off his debt to her, and she should put the money towards helping some other kid who needs it. It's a lie, but a better lie than a lot of other ones I've told. I send the rest of the money to people I figure could use it. And to various charities to help young idiots like me so maybe they can, I don't know, find a better path than mine was. Wish I'd had more left of it to do that with, actually. But hey, for those it reaches, it'll mean something. Could mean the world. And that's what I tell Martha too. That her support all these years meant the world. Thanks for everything, Martha. Love, Deshawn.